One farmer says, seems to me there was a tea party in Boston that was illegal too.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
We shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation.
As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Government credit and government currency are really one and the same thing. A reserve of gold and a small reserve of silver.
So, and I said, well, what if it does happen? And he says, well, price will solve everything. I said, thanks, give me the gold. You know?
Why do central banks hold it? Well, it's a form of reserves. So why don't they hold diamonds? Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
Well, some people still think it's money.
Welcome back. You're live. It's the Junius Maltby channel. The extemporaneous ramblings of a madman, broadcasting live and unscripted here on the Junius Maltby channel, the most boring channel on YouTube. Once just a small little voice in the wilderness of the internet, crying out for gold and sound money, among other topics and things. How are my friends today? I can see many of you have been in the chat for a bit already. Hopefully the sound's coming in, as many of you say 5x5 or loud and clear. It should be, volume should be good. Give me a sound check just in case. Got some stories pulled up, some discussion pieces and conversations. We'll take a look at some things. You know, it's another record-breaking day. Good, sound is good. You got to start paying attention when gold is smashing records on a daily basis. We hit a 52-week high yesterday. We hit a 52-week high today. It breached 2,300 today. It's every day now. I mean, last week, I believe it's up. What are we at year to date? It's 1 year change is 9.72%. You can see that right there. And the year to date, 8.94. Intraday high, according to CNBC, was 2301.89. That's pretty big. $2,300, breaching it. There is some other news. The Dow fell, I believe. It fell. It has fallen. I think 400 points. Intel shares fell. What was it? The company revealed like a $7 billion operating loss. Intel. Now, we were talking, many of you were mentioning Dave Ramsey, the cunt that he is. Someone was mentioning all these things about him, right? Yeah, he hates debt. That was a great point. Whoever brought that up there in the chat, the cunt that is Dave Ramsey. Someone brought up how he hates debt, right? And that's a good thing to hate debt. He hates it, but he's really into people buying debt-riddled companies. Isn't that amazing? It's funny. I never thought of that before. It's a great point. Whoever brought that up, it was genius. It's so true. It's very accurate. Buck 52,000. Was that you? Dave Ramsey helps people get out of debt by sending leads to real estate agents. Who was it? Here it is. Low blood pressure. You're the one. You said he is so arrogant he hates debt, but buys sticks of indebted companies. Yeah, low blood pressure. You get the win on that. That's what you did say. You guys, a lot of you made some great points about Mr. Ramsey. Thank you, Shuffle Silver, for the kitty emoji and the super chat, the support, the generosity here on this channel. I appreciate it. Yeah, he screens his calls. You're not going to get into Dave Ramsey unless you think like he does and his little friends, his little pissants. He's not the only one. A lot of people hate gold. Gold's got a lot of haters. Not a lot of lovers, but a lot of haters. We get made fun of. They call us gold bugs. But who's laughing now? I mean, really, who's laughing now? Gold bugs? You guys laughing? We are. We're the gold bulls, the gold hawks. The gold bears are not laughing. I got to show you. Wait till I show you some Dent in the Head Harry quotes that I got pulled up for you. You're going to freak out. This is good stuff. I can't believe it. I actually was doing some research. I was reading literature and doing research upon Dent in the Head Harry, and I found some entries of his. The guy's crazy. He might actually be mad. You wonder how an individual can despise something such as gold the way he does. I mean, it's vitriolic. It's not even normal. His measure of hatred for gold, and his outlook is just so inaccurate. It's so far-fetched. It's baseless. I don't know what he ties it to. I don't know how he comes. Like for us, for example, you and me, our logic train, the line of thinking that we tend to subscribe to, and how we get to the point where we think, hey, this is why you and I think gold is going to be of a certain value at a certain time, or why it's going to increase. And I've got some articles at the end of today's video. Hopefully we can get to those. We'll pull them up. It's more key points, more emboldening of our position, more validation. It'll vindicate why we are in this situation that we're in, and why you and I tend to believe the way we do. Honestly, I don't understand where Dent and Head Harry or Dave Ramsey, where they come off. When you look at gold historically, as it has presented itself over time in history, it's always been money. The supply of it cannot be increased by political will, right? It doesn't have any exposure to third parties. It doesn't have any liabilities of its own. It's even Alan Greenspan. I read that paper years ago. What was it, 1966? The Greenspan paper on gold. It's a speech he gave on the attributes of gold, why it serves as such a great form of money, a language of value, a liquidity anchor, unit of account, all those things that we describe as when we use those terms to describe gold. It's the best protection against inflation on earth. There's nothing else. Nothing ever has been. Nothing can compete against it. Historically, that's just the way it's been. I didn't make the rules. I didn't come up with it. I didn't invent it. All right, I was born into this universe, this timeline, against my will, if you will. But gold was chosen. It was chosen as money by people, by a free market, by multiple monetary systems globally. And it's always served as a challenge to fiat money, which is inherently weak. Always fails. It has a lifespan, literally. All of fiat has an average lifespan of something like 30 years. I've showed you graveyards full of fiat dollars and paper, different things from every type of currency, right? Whether they were German marks, bolivars, you name it. The list goes on. Pesos. You could just name a currency that's been turned into fiat, and you can find the dead ones. There's thousands of dead currency. They don't live long. But gold's got a lifespan of, infinite. Truly. As long as the Earth's spinning on its axis, hurling through time and space in this chaos of a universe of things, it's going to have value. That's just the way it is. I can't change that, all right? Like I said, I didn't make the rules. I was born into it. You were born into it. We just got to, exist in it. Now let's get to some stuff here. We saw there's some headlines. There's a lot of headlines. Let's get some of these. Gold's making headlines. It's making headlines. It's in the news. People are talking about it. All right. You would think people would get a clue and they'd wake up, but they're not. They're watching their sports ball. They're paying attention to the newly minted billionaire. What's her name again?
Taylor?
The Satanic Witch. Yes, Taylor Swift. Yeah, Taylor Swift. We should say Taylor Swift 3 times. That way it throws off the bots. Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. There. YouTube now likes the video. It's being thrust into the top of the algorithm. Everyone say Taylor Swift and type Taylor Swift into the chat. It's like summoning. You're summoning her powers.
You're going to get Swifties in here if you're not careful.
Man, I you know what? I'm sorry right now. I just want to live long enough to see tragedy strike her. That's all it is. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. Like some crippling illness, some debilitating anguish.
Her alcoholic boyfriend will do something. I bet they'll probably get in a DUI or
something will happen.
Something will happen.
Maybe he'll throw her through the sheetrock. I don't know. Let's keep going here though. Gold's hitting fresh highs every day. It's soaring. Check this out. Headline by Barron's. Gold is soaring while Bitcoin and everything else is slumping. More inflation, more copper theft. Yes, the meth heads are never going to stop stealing copper. That's just going to happen. All right, your copper is not safe. Okay, it is a precious metal. It's amazing. That's why do I need to tell you guys about pre-82 pennies again? Do we need to have that conversation? Who here has not heard my conversation on pre-82 pennies? Every single gas station clerk and grocery clerk from here to the Mississippi River that I've bumped into has at least heard it once. If they have a give a penny, take a penny jar on the counter, and I sort through it and talk to them, and I give them some pennies, I take some pennies. Hey, don't put copper pennies on a counter saying take these if you don't want them taken. I'm going to take them. I'm surprised the meth heads haven't figured that out yet. So gold prices hitting record highs. Markets, again, let's check on them real quick. Dow was down 396 today. Can you guys see that all right? Do I need to adjust something here? I'll adjust it. I'll adjust the freaking screen. I got to be my own engineer, my own sound studio guy, my own screen guy, my own writer, whatever. I got to do everything. And then again, there is no writer because, again, it's all unscripted. I don't know what to do. I'm just my own guy. Mrs. Maltby's typically banging away at her keyboard, distracting me, trying to work from the same office because we're limited in space. Here we are. Dow's down 396. S&P was down 37.9. We'll call it 38. NASDAQ was down 156. Keep going. Keep beating them up. Checking. I wanted to see copper. That's why I came back over here also. Copper, 3 cents, 4.08. $4.08 a pound, I believe that is. Yeah. Platinum, palladium, barely hanging on. I don't like them. Never did. Never have. Don't own any. Don't want any. Thanks. Keep your platinum family metals. I'm sorry. I'm just not into them. Okay. Gold prices hitting all-time highs, record high. Here's why. They're going to tell you why. I love when the media gets in on this. Like, they don't pay attention for like 6 months to a year. Even a decade, something. All of a sudden, gold starts moving, and the media acts like they know all about it. They start writing articles. CNBC starts coming out with stuff. There was actually, I'm not even kidding you. Check this out. You go down here at the bottom of CNBC. Look, you see their list of headlines for all the articles they've been cranking out. Gold prices all-time high, but experts don't always recommend investing. You got to listen to the experts. I should go off on that in a second. Bob Hunter, thanks for the super chat with the L symbol. I see it. Pounds, my friend. It is health that is real wealth, not pieces of gold and silver. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. It's true, though. It's very true. You got to be content in all things, and there's so much more. I've mentioned that in many videos here. There's so much more to value and so much more to life than the preservation of one's, stores of labor or worth. But it is handy. Wealth and money can equal leisure time and the ability to enjoy your health and your family and doing other things instead of striving to keep the lights on or acquire sustenance. Food, that which feeds us, destroys us. Gold prices are at an all-time high, right? But experts don't always recommend investing. CNBC actually put this out April 1st. I love it. What experts? Who are you talking about? I'm not going to listen to the experts. They get it wrong repeatedly. I'm going to share with you the quotes from a supposed expert in just a moment. Cosmo, my friend, thanks for the super chat. He goes, Putin made me stack gold and silver. Putin stacks gold and silver. It's true, he does. Gold hits another record high after fresh U.S. data spurs Fed cut expectations. What's driving gold's rally to record highs? Question mark. Like they have the ability to tell you, like CNBC even knows, right? These guys peddle trash. All right, these are the CNBC. Gold could start to overtake Bitcoin as the crypto stalls at 70,000. I wish. That'd be awesome. Can you imagine if it did? Can you imagine if gold actually overtook Bitcoin? I think it would blow. I think there's people who would literally jump off of bridges. And then, of course, my favorite, I shared this headline with you earlier in the month, how doomsday preppers made gold and silver precious end-of-the-world assets. Yeah, because these cruder bobs and hillbillies and these guys on these reality TV shows and these doomsday preppers, really, like they had any ability to drive. These people probably hold a combined like 83 ounces between them globally. You know, I mean, the people of India are the largest holders of gold outside of a central bank in the world. I would imagine the people of China hold quite a bit. I don't think doomsday preppers, if we're talking about the United States, hold a significant measure of gold that drives the price in any particular direction. They could sell all of their gold tomorrow. It would be consumed. You wouldn't even see a blip on the price. I'm sorry, they're just not that influential. There's not that many of them. It's just the way it is. The markets are bigger than that. 20% of the gold's held, I believe, by the central banks themselves. What is it? According to the data on the Wall Street Journal that's always out, what is it? 8,333. They love that number, 333. Is it 8,333 tons? That's what the Fed owns. Yeah, that's the U.S. gold stocks. All right, moving on. So they're hitting fresh highs, right? Early Monday morning trading. There's a lot of talk about inflation. It's been a recognized store of value over the centuries. They always repeat that. They always like to add antiquity. They like to, I think you'll notice that. Remember when you're reading mainstream articles, I want you to look for key pieces, little tidbits they put in there. A lot of times they'll insert things that you got to be, it's like subliminal. They'll draw your mind, your attention towards like the archaicness of gold, how it's ancient, it's antiquity, it's old, it's outdated. I mean, come on, people were pulling horse carts and buggies. It's medieval.
Yeah, so is Biden.
Ray Finkel, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Headline, it isn't happening. You're a conspiracy theorist. Okay, it's happening, and this is why it's a good thing. Yeah, they're always trying to tell us we're a conspiracy theorist. Headline, it's not happening. You're a conspiracy theorist.
Well,
and then they admit it.
The CIA, and it's not happening.
It's happening.
No, the CIA said it wasn't.
Yeah, and again, they're probably part of this. You know, they actually help orchestrate. They help orchestrate these articles, and they put out the propaganda to throw people off. But again, the price doesn't lie. The charts don't lie. You're looking at it. You're seeing it. They quote Jerome Powell. Why would you listen to him? There's a lot of discussion right now about rates and what's going to happen with these meetings. I believe the Fed meets tomorrow, so pay attention to prices tomorrow and what the Fed says, what the Fed decisions are going to be. I love it. It's so secretive. You know, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't really care. I know where this is going. That's the great part about being a gold stacker. You get this form of apathy for the mainstream system and these numbers and these little talking heads and all these little cokeheads of Wall Street and these bankers, you know. And you just get to the point where you don't care. Most of you should be there already. You just don't care. You have to adopt a complete apathetic position towards these people. Once you're there, it's almost like a state of nirvana. Just to be disconnected from them and just sit back, mock them. Mock them. It's good to mock them. Quote, I think the U.S. dollar will also get ahead and historically has an inverse relationship with gold, said Jonathan Odd, president and CEO of the mining company Dakota Gold Corp, at a recent investment conference. I think the setup is there, and I think it's a really interesting time to be looking at gold if you currently have no exposure. And there's a lot of people that have no exposure. That's what you have to realize. There are a lot of people, a lot of money on the sidelines and tied up that has no exposure to gold. And if it starts to move that way, well, we're going to see some activity. Here's another piece I'm going to show you. Okay, here, I got it. I'm pulling it up. Dent in the head, Harry. I got some quotes from him. And again, this is all he ever says. He's pretty easy to predict. Like, all you have to go is, I wonder how Harry feels today about gold. And it's a bearish position. That's why he's always been wrong. If you had an ounce of gold for every time Harry Dent has made a wrong gold call, every single one of you would be sitting on like a metric ton of gold. Gold, to be the hardest hit commodity in a massive crash bear market in the early stages. This was published January 25th, 2023. Bob Hunter, thanks for the super chat. He goes, tick-tock, the nuclear clock, the walls come tumbling down. What use is your wealth in the physical world? Invest in your heart and soul. Prepper Bob. True, yeah. Gold, guns, groceries. You will need some money to transact with. It's good to preserve your wealth, though, Bob. It is good to preserve your wealth, just in case, store of labor. Buy a tractor, buy a plot of land, some agricultural dirt, or a herd of cattle. You never know. Or weapons. Weapons of war. Who knows? You could be a warlord. A fleet of Toyota pickups with dishkas mounted in the back. I wonder what those would go for in a post-apocalyptic world. If you wanted a Toyota completely kitted out Somali style. I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I wonder how much that is worth in gold. I don't know. But it'd be a valuable vehicle. It'd be good. Four-wheel drive. Solid chassis construction. All right, so here it is. I'm going to have to pull up a gold chart just to see where it was. I want to go back to January 25th. I'm going to pull one up real quick just to see where Dent in the head Harry was on this one. Come on. Let's go back to January. Here we go. June, July, September, October. What is he doing here? Here we go. So, January of 23. I'd have to go way back? Because we're in 24, that's right. I got to go way back here. January 25th. Almost there. Okay, I got a quote for you. January 25th, gold was around, it actually was pretty good back then. It was 1930. Low was 1918. Okay, so $1,900. Okay. So about $1,900 back in January of 23. Oh, they say it right there. Yeah, here it is, at around 1930 an ounce. And he's saying that it's going to see a massive crash, Harry Dent. Right there, right? The biggest crash in our lifetime. You read that right there? Biggest crash in our lifetime. He's calling for gold to reach a low of $900 per ounce by mid-2024. Are you guys reading that? Am I reading that right? Are the words making sense? Dent in the head, Harry. That's him right there. He actually has kind of, and I'm not making fun of his physical appearance. I can't, you got to be honest here. I'm observing this. He does have a dent in the head, which means he could have had a pretty bad head injury. I'm sorry if he did. But he does have that. He earned that nickname. Dent in the head Harry is calling for gold to reach a low of $900 per ounce in mid-2024. What is mid? Is that July? Would we call that July? So he's got time. He's got some time. Forgotten Creation. Thanks for the super chat. He goes, this is just the beginning. Remember that you were far ahead of everyone who wakes up tomorrow and thinks, crap, I need some gold. Well done, folks. Yes, it's only the beginning, and most of you are absolutely far ahead of where you needed to be, and you woke up before many out there. That's true. Very true. Forgotten Creation. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the super chat, too, my friend. Here we go. Let's continue on this Dent in the head, Harry. Quote, gold is not a safe haven, he maintained. I'm predicting that gold goes down to 900 to 1,000. That will be a lot less than other commodities. That is still a 40 to 45% fall from here. I don't know what type of intoxicant or inebriating substance Dent in the head Harry digests, but I can tell you his assessment here is delusional at best. It's bizarre. I don't know. Maybe someone put LSD in his iced tea, or I don't know, mushrooms in his coffee, or maybe he's on some hardcore pain medicine. But his statement here, 45% drop from a year, it has done literally speaking, the opposite of that. It's done the absolute opposite of what he said it would do. And they still give him press time. Like there's literally media whores like this one that interview him as if he had any substance to say whatsoever, anything to add. Of course, he's got his books. You notice, I love this. The leather chair and the books behind him. He might as well have a pipe and a globe. Yeah, well, I'm telling you, my assessment is a global economy, and I said gold will drop 45%. That's what I say, and that's the way it's going to be. And his books, and his chair, his suit jacket. His suit jacket, that sells it all to me. Yeah, you got to listen. You got to watch out for guys with suit jackets and books behind them. So let's continue. Dent's track record includes correctly forecasting the Japanese asset bubble. That's probably it. The dot-com bubble and the election of Donald Trump. So he's nailed like three things that a lot of other people called quite accurately. He has missed gold for multiple decades. He's never been right. They never put that in these articles, though. They've never, ever put in any one of these articles how wrong he's been. No one's ever addressed it. Dent in the head Harry said that an everything bubble has been manufactured by the Fed. I'll agree with him there. Loose monetary policy, which has caused booms in most asset classes, especially stocks. Dent in the head, you don't realize this gold is reacting to the expansion of the money supply and the debasement, the devaluation of dollars, okay? Gold's going to keep going, my bro. The boom from 09 to 21 in stocks was 120% artificial, he stated. I would agree with him there. See, I don't always disagree with Dent in the head. The Fed stimulating more and more to keep the stock market going up. That is taking a toxic financial drug, which when it finally goes down and fails, you have a hang-up. He predicted that a massive crash will occur amidst an already bearish market once the NASDAQ hits its 2022 low of 1088. I think the markets will take a significant dip with this, but I don't think gold's going with them. I think it's going the other way. And we're seeing that right now. We are seeing that every single day. Yes, gold, silver hit 26.20. Silver was up significantly today. Silver did really well. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, silver beat gold in percentage gains today. I can't find it. It was at $26. Jace, 1701. Look at this guy. 1701. JC. 1701, thank you, my friend, for the super chat. He goes, another live stream, and I was able to make it. The Lord has smiled upon us this day, gentlemen. LOL. From me and my commie-hating puppers to yours. God bless. Well, God bless you, Jace, and thank you for the generous and kind gift, the benevolence that you show this channel. I appreciate it very much, my friend.
Thank you, and we need to add an emoji with our doggo, because the cat is not the only one.
You need to add an emoji with the doggo. You do need to do that, Mrs. Malpe.
Our chip bowl.
Yeah, very much appreciate that, my friend. Let me keep going here. Yes, silver was at 26. It breached 26 today. I saw that, and I think percentage gain wise, it was one of the hottest moving metals today. 4% gain, says Morier Invictus. 4% gain in AG today. Silver did make a big move. Russ Jordan, again, thanks for the super chat. He goes, I wonder if the valuable cocaine can be farmed off the paper money without disturbing the feces. That's a good question. I've never considered that. All circulating paper bills have a measure of cocaine on them. I don't know how you'd extract it, though. And then you're right. You'd have to avoid all the feces because there's a measurable percentage of human fecal on paper bills as well. It's a question. There's a question that deserves an answer, Russ, and it's a good one. Back to Dent head. I feel the ultimate low at this point for stocks is going to be July of 24, he thinks. So we got a big crash coming according to Dent. The next wave down will occur once this critical level is reached. Gold will crash along with other assets to 900. I can't believe this guy's making a call for $900 gold. In this environment, with what's going on, with what I'm about to show you coming up in this video even, how can he seriously make this? Harry Dent in the head. Harry, my friend, would you want to come on the channel and talk to me about these things? Can you come on the Junior Malpe channel and speak? We should have him on. Does he want to come on? Dent. Bob Hunter, lots of love from other poor commie hater. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Bob Hunter. Yeah, we do hate commies here.
Look at his profile picture.
He's got a doggo.
No,
is that a doggo or a kitty?
Calico.
Oh, it's a little calico kitty. Good.
Or a tortie.
Dent spoke to Michelle McCory, lead anchor, editor-in-chief, Kitco News. I can't believe. Let's see. Gold will crash along with that 900 ounce, but will ultimately reach 4,000 after markets recover and the next economic boom takes place. Wait a minute. Did Dent just say what I think he said? Gold will crash along with other assets to 900 per ounce. Okay. Said Dent. But will ultimately reach 4,000 after markets recover and the next economic boom takes place. I think he's wrong in how we get there, but I'm very surprised and impressed even to see him make a $4,000 call after a $900 call. I don't think it's going to retreat that far. I just don't think it is. I don't think, like I've said before, it's never going below 1,000 again. That's my opinion. That's my belief, and I've stuck by that for over a decade. I've been right on that. It has never even touched it once. Never even come close. There's a strong chance that we never even see sub $2,000 gold again. Is it possible? Of course it is. Anything possible. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I do find it interesting that he's making a $4,000 call after all this settles out. Then we've got interest rates, the Fed, all of that. Gold forecast low price by 2024. Okay. Thanks for that, Dent. And then there's a couple more. He made a couple other calls. Come on. Gold to lose its shine as Harry Dent predicts a massive crash This is back in, where was this? Where was this at? I'm going to get you a date here in just a second. This is from January 26th of 2023. He was calling for a massive crash in gold and Bitcoin to hit $3,250, $3,250. Gold has seen a significant increase in value, so he was getting a lot of press back in January, and he's not doing too good on his calls here. So Dent and the head management, HS Dent Investments, made these calls. I would love to see his positions, his spot prices here. So he predicted gold will be at a value of 900 to 1,000. Did he short it? I would love to know if he put a bunch of shorts on gold. If he put his money where his actual mouth was, would be incredible, because he would have lost bigly, to quote the former president. He would have lost bigly. So it didn't do that. It didn't work out for him. He was wrong there. And then, of course, do you remember these ones? I was showing you these back in the day. This is to give you a little more background, a little more history, a little historical. This is like taking some time travel pills here on the Junius Malpe channel. I probably shared this article with you back in 2018 when it came out. Back when my nemesis was still doing what he did, and he's been wrong ever since. This is just to paint a picture how wrong he's been, for how long he's been wrong, his trends of being wrong, his resume, his track record, his reputation of being wrong on gold. Meanwhile, I have, again, been more accurate. I won't say right. I'll say I've been more accurate in my assessments on the yellow metal than Dent and Head has been. Here he says, this is, again, June 13th, 2018, why Harry Dent's $400 forecast for gold is wrong. Price is heading up much higher. The point of this article isn't where it's okay, is the fact that Harry Dent was making the rounds suggesting that gold will get back to its pre-bubble price, that it would fall to 400 to 450. People thought I was joking. That I remember mentioning these calls from guys like Harry Dent, and people on this channel, even in the comments, said I was wrong. Like, nobody said that. You're crazy. Junius, you're nuts. Nobody ever said that it was going to 400. No one's that stupid. I'm here to tell you, and you're looking at it on the screen, there are people that were that stupid, and he's not the only one. There's people that made worse calls than this. I read people calling 300 and 250, like you're talking Browns down levels, like 256, sub 1999 level gold. There's people that made those calls when it was already past 1,000, and they were calling for that. What math, what metric, what data they plugged into their little fatty tissue in their cranial vault to compute that data, I don't understand. I don't know how they got to that. I don't know what dots they connected. Okay? I don't know how those people with their Pepe Sylvia board of theories were able to illustrate that. But they did. There is no Pepe Sylvia. Remember that. There is no Pepe Sylvia. The office is empty. Okay, I'm going to continue here in a minute. Let me get to I started stacking. Mimaru says, I started stacking in 2010 or 11. Yeah, I experienced a lot of downs, but I'm glad I stuck to my convictions. Discovering Junius Malpe helped. That's what I've always been. I've been your motivator. I'm your cheerleader, Mimaru. I'm here to tell you guys to not sell, to keep holding, to keep stacking, to keep rating. Always. Solid work, my friends. Harry Dent has been making, okay, so he was calling for gold to hit 400 and 450. And there's people that took these articles literally and they freaked out and they panic sold and they got scared. He was well known on the internet for his $750 gold price forecast. He bases a low gold price on what he calls the end of the commodity supercycle. He sees nothing but massive deflation ahead. Thus, this will cause gold prices to fall along with all commodities. Unfortunately for Dent, his gold price forecast is incorrect because he fails to incorporate the falling EROI, energy return on investment. Does he? I'm going to see if he actually mentions it in this video. Top 4 gold miners, total estimated cost versus average gold price. So is this the cost to get an ounce of gold? Top 4 gold miners, total estimated cost versus the average gold price. So, I mean, you're looking at it here. The cost to get gold out of the ground back in 2017 was $1,260 and $11.46. This is back in 2017. Remember, I've told you guys for years the cost to get gold out of the ground and fuel, the energy, reclamation, all that. I've broke it down many times, and there's a reason gold. The fact is, people will stop mining it. They just won't pull it out of the ground because the fuel costs, the oil costs, the human labor costs, all of the things that goes into getting gold out of the ground. It's the going and the getting of it that makes it valuable. It's the going and the getting of it. You got to remember that. It represents human labor. I want to see what he has to say here, though. I'm going to turn the volume on. Let's go check this out, guys. Come on.
Let's talk gold now. And I love one quote from your book where you basically said, gold bugs will always argue with you, those who are calling for 5,000 gold. You're saying they're not necessarily wrong, but it might only happen once they are
when
dead.
they're dead. Yeah. I mean, gold, people have to realize, gold is a unique metal, very concentrated, high value. It has had a monetary role in the past, up until now, where it doesn't really correlate with the modern economy like it did in the 1800s, early 1900s, which was a commodity economy. Gold is a premier commodity, and it goes up and down with the commodity cycle. Guess what?
No, it
commodity cycles peak every 30 years. Look, 1920, 49.51, double top. 80, almost every commodity topped in 1980, including gold and silver, and then crashed. And now, 2008, agriculture and energy topped, and then metals and...
1980, remember, it was only legal to own from 1974. Nixon closed gold when it was 71. Hard to base it on... There's a lot of other variables, and you guys know that. We've talked about it, but
especially
he's so wrong.
Precious metals peaked in 2011. Gold was the last one in September. It's been in a crash ever since.
But your forecast, 650 to 750 gold, that's almost half from the levels we're at.
That's the next stop. Ultimately, for gold to erase its bubble and get back to its bubble origin would be $400 to $450. Now, when gold hits that, I will be the first buyer. And I think it will in the next commodity bubble, which I can predict today will peak somewhere between 2038 and 40, with a pretty high degree of certainty, because this is such a consistent thing. It will probably be $4,000 to $5,000.
So then gold for you is solely a commodity. It's not money then.
It's not money. It was for most of history.
Then why do central banks hold it? Oh, tradition. Sorry.
Here's what gold is, and gold bugs don't get this. Gold is the most excellent inflation hedge in history. We can go back. I got a chart back to 1700s. Gold, adjusted for inflation, does not appreciate because it is inflation. It is the best gauge and the best hedge against inflation. So
how does he not see inflation right now?
1980, when we have the greatest inflation run in history. And gold went up 10 times in that period. Well, it's gone up recently, since 2009, because investors saw this massive money printing, and the natural response is, well, this is going to be inflationary. It wasn't, because this money printing is fighting deflation, deleveraging. The winter season is deflationary. The fall season, the 70s, was inflationary. That's when gold does it.
Anyway,
for now, 1900.
$450 call. He's been wrong. I mean, absolutely wrong. Hey, Living Soil, thank you for the super chat, and thank you. He says, yes, thank you for what you do. Well, thanks for being here. The channel wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have anyone to talk to if you guys didn't show up. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't be motivated. And I appreciate the support, the kindness, all of you. And Bill Spencer, look at him, gifting memberships to people. Warrior Invictus, welcome to the channel. That's awesome. Yeah, you've been here for a long time, and you just got a membership from Bill Spencer. You deserve it. I don't think you could have picked a better person in the chat to grab it to. You're all good, but that's awesome. I'm glad to see you got a channel membership now. You have a lot of access, Warrior. Go check it out. There is a ton of archive videos because, again, even the last live was only up for about 24 hours, and then boom, I put it hidden into the members-only area, which is where a lot of things end up nowadays. It's a level of security and protection for the channel. I've found that it works quite well. So if you have a channel membership, you have access to videos that nobody else on the planet does, especially the old stuff, the classics. Yes, the classic Junior's Multi.
Richter just tossing out more.
Yeah, James Richter. He's like the channel member gifter. I love it.
Channel Oprah?
He is. He's like the channel over. And you get a membership, and you get a membership, and you get a membership, and you get a membership. Thank you, James Richter, for throwing out channel memberships to Luke Wee, J-Ro, Colorado Luke, Thingamajigger. That is an amazing name, by the way. I can't tell you how many thingamajiggers I got in my garage. I need that thingamajigger. It's amazing. You guys are great. What a fantastic group of people. Moving on, gold to... Okay, this is another one. I actually tried to find this article. Believe it or not, I don't know who deleted it. I don't know why they deleted it. but it got deleted. It's no longer on the internet, so I don't think. This is, I'm trying to get it to where you can read the whole thing here. Where is it at? Oh, man, he's so wrong in why he thinks gold is going to do what it's going to do. He just doesn't have a full grasp. You know, some people, it's like he's looking at just one little thing, and it's just not the whole picture. Gold to be hardest hit commodity in massive crashes. Again, this is back in, I think this is all part of the same news story that Dent was doing, Dent and Head. Gold is soaring while Bitcoin and everything else is slumping. That's what's happening today. Here's a bunch of Dent and Head hairy headlines I pulled up for you guys earlier. Gold losing its shine. Gold going down. Imminent collapse. It's all going to end. It's all going to burn. Meanwhile, let's look at the backdrop. Let's look at why we think what we think here, huh? National debt report finds the U.S. debt higher than thought. I don't even know how that's possible. It's like, well, we're wrong. It's not 100 trillion. It's a Googleplex-illion. It's the biggest number ever. So it's the big numbers. They're talking big numbers now. It's higher than they thought. Government debt risk. Million simulations show danger ahead. I don't even know if I have access to some of these articles because I don't pay for memberships. You got the bowl cut albino hobbit Yanet Jello here. U.S. debt outlook. Why danger lurks ahead for the U.S. economy. Danger. Citadel's Ken Griffin sees modest growth of warns on U.S. debt. Of course he does. We see growth. They always talk about the growth. Modest, moderate, weak, strong. Doesn't matter, dude. Your empire's going to burn. It's all going to burn to the ground. Record levels of U.S. debt. Record levels. The U.S. national debt is rising by $1 trillion every 100 days. Did you guys know that? $1 trillion every 100 days. Do the math. $1 trillion every 100 days. Someone actually sent me an article recently, and I'm going to find it. It was the rate of the United States debt and how fast. So here's one of them here from the SRS Roca report. This was sent to me as a communique. I'll read it to you. It's absolutely shocking. It's more precisely 738 billion, 486 million, wasting $1 million a day. Okay, so the United States, if it was a business, would have been losing $1 million per day since the birth of Jesus. The USA is the biggest Ponzi scheme in human history. Only scream of Edward Munch can reflect that kind of madness. Yes, that is literally how bad it is. This is an amazing statistic. That if you started a business on the day that Christ was born, and that business lost $1 million a day every day until today, the losses would not even total $1 trillion. Actually, less than about $750 billion. The U.S. government creates and spends $1 trillion every 100 days. Did that sink in at all, my friends? Do any of you understand what I just said to you? I mean, it's $1 trillion every 100 days. Calla Smolov says, I just joined Patreon. It's awesome. Welcome to the Patreon side of things as well. $1 trillion every 100 days. And think now, we're at what, 30? We'll check in a minute. What are we, 33, 34 trillion? The numbers are staggering. It's at the point now where it's insane. It's ridiculous. It should be sobering. I mean, are you guys... This is what I want. I want Dent and Head to look at. I want him to see these numbers and just be like, you know what? I changed my tune, man. I think gold's going up. He doesn't understand the connection. I don't think that you and I can put together here. Biden's $8 trillion budget. So that would be like spending, what is that, $8 million a day, every day? $8 million every single day. $8 million a day since the birth of Christ to come up with a budget that Biden has. and they're in debt.
Hey, you keep paying your taxes, all right?
Oh, yeah, I will. I do. I just do that to stay out of a cage.
Your credit score
If you
is
don't,
okay.
they'll shoot you and put you in a cage. You know that.
What's the federal government's credit score?
That's a good question. What's the federal government's credit score? How do you give a credit score to an institution that is this dysfunctional? Biden's $8 trillion budget makes claims of deficit cutting laughable. It's an assault on U.S. business. It's over, man. This whole thing's burning to the ground. It's done. And this is why you have to just get out of it. You got to just stock up. There is no hope. I made a video titled "America, There Is No Hope" a long time ago. It's in the archives. You can watch it. 1 million simulations. 1 million simulations here. One verdict for the U.S. economy: debt danger ahead. Bloomberg Economics ran 1 million forecast simulations on the U.S. debt outlook. They must have used AI for that. Has anyone asked AI what the forecast is for the U.S. economy? A good, non-biased AI? Huh? You notice, what did Kamala Harris say? They have to make sure that AI is not racist before they can use it for certain things or something, because it might be.
Already racist.
It's probably racist. Everything's racist.
There's AI apps that do certain things.
1 million simulations, one verdict for the U.S. economy. Debt danger ahead. Bloomberg Economics ran 1 million forecast simulations on the U.S. debt outlook. 88% of them show borrowing on an unsustainable path. So that means if 88% of 1 million, that means 880,000 forecast simulations. 880,000 simulations show that we are on an unsustainable path. And you guys thought I was negative. These guys just told you that 880,000 solutions show that this is, or outcomes are negative, are bad. That's worse than the glass is half empty. That's like the glass is 88% empty. You know, the glass is half full versus 88% empty. It's bad. You know, the only thing left is backwash at this point. Backwash. That's it. Some saliva. A debt danger lurks ahead for the U.S. economy. According to the latest projections from the Congressional Budget Office, the U.S. federal government debt is on a path from 97% of GDP last year to 116% by 2034. Those CBO forecasts are underpinned by rosy assumptions. Plug in the market's current view on interest rates. The debt-to-GDP ratio rises to 123% in 2034. It is going to implode. Oh, yeah, here it is. In 88% of simulations, the results show the debt-to-GDP ratio on an unsustainable path. It's unsustainable, my friends. That is why we are where we are and why we believe what we believe. That is why you and I continue to stack, continue to raid. Fred Seymour, my son is a PCGS grader. Hey, I need some stuff graded just for my own sake. I kind of wanted a couple slabbed that I have. I'm not a big fan of it sometimes, but hey, they make it so difficult. Tell your son they need to make their process easier and more trustworthy. I have a really hard time trusting them. Like, I'd love to get my 2009 Ultra High Relief graded. I really would. I would like to have it slabbed, but I just don't know how to go about doing it. How do I know I'm getting my coin back? I got so many questions. So many questions. Okay, we've updated. Okay, whatever. Get off my page. Let's see. America will be left with severe, irreversible scars if national debt goes unchecked. Now, a blockbuster report warns the bill is higher than it believed, hitting $141 trillion by 2054. 141. Where are we at right now? Let's go like this. Let me bring it up. U.S. debt clock. Here we go. Pulling it up now. This is why Dent in the head. This is what makes us what we do. And again, this isn't the only reason. And it's not the only thing that's important. But check it out. 34.6 trillion. I forget what it was. When I started the channel way back in the day, I'm trying to remember. It might have been like 6 or 7 trillion. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was at. If it was there. Hey, good point. Catfish Custom says, I missed the day when we raided together on different sites with Junius and his bride. It's a good point. We should raid again. Maybe we will soon. Maybe we'll. And we can always do that. We could always go snatch something up right now. A little item of some kind. It's easy to do. The raid never ends. That's what's great. It doesn't end. It doesn't matter. There's always some place to get something. Now let's see. We got silver and gold and silver and gold. Let's check out. I want to check silver real quick here. I'm going to go pop over to the silver price. 26.22. It's up 4.5% currently. We're at up $1.13 today. That's a pretty good move. Up $1.12. Silver 26.21. Gold's at 26.86 according to this. Where are we at down here? Is it live trading? It is. 26.21. Market open overseas. Silver in 2024 is up 5.4%, averaging 8.4% over the course of the last over decade and a half or so. And again, let's check the live trading on gold. Where are we at? So yeah, they always got the different price here on gold price. They've got it below 13 because what is it? It's the futures versus the deliveries and all those different details that they utilize to what price they report. But here on goldprice.org, we've got it at 2286, 2285, 2284. Yes. But we're up 9% now for the year. And again, CNBC had it, let's see. CNBC's got it. They still have it trading at 2304 currently. That's right, because I forgot. I reported on it once. The details of that has to do with 2 different deliveries and different prices, dates. You got the COMEX, and then you've got the, which one are they reporting on here? I don't even know. Let's see. Commodities Exchange. Futures. Yeah. Anyways. Ladies and gentlemen. Big movements. 88% chance it ends badly. That's not good odds. Metals are moving. Gold's moving. Silver's moving. They're the only things that they're doing well. Of course, there's always room. There's always time for a little bit of a correction. But we've got gold again at 2306. Not at 2307. It's moving as I close out the video. I can't even close the video because gold's still moving as we talk. 2307.1. 2306. Back and forth. Up $1, down $1. Up $2, up $1. Up, down $1. Thanks for all of you who supported this channel today. Thanks for participating, being part. Thanks to all of you who support this channel in various ways. Whether you support this channel through Patreon, which is just a way to show your support in case we ever get banned and have a kind of an insurance backdoor, a way to issue content outside of here, but also a way to show your support for the channel in that way because so many of you asked to do so back when it was available. And thanks to all of you who are channel members, support us through super chats and other means. I very much appreciate all of the support and the camaraderie, the community that's formed here. Continue raiding. Continue fighting this fight. Taking metal off the market so that it cannot be manipulated. Continue spreading the truth to whoever can listen, friends, family. I know it's hard, it's difficult, but plant fruit trees, till some soil, make a garden, get rural. Do what you can, protect yourselves, your loved ones, and prepare for the worst. Prepare for what's coming. We just saw it. If they're telling us that it's 88% chance it's bad, it's probably more like 98% or 99%. Or we could just call it 100%. This doesn't end well. This does not end well. The economy, the United States economy, is perhaps the most in debt, the worst economy that the world has ever seen, that has ever been allowed to get to this point, to this position. So when it implodes, when it finally ends, it is only natural that it will be one of the most horrific and cataclysmic economic collapses, one of the worst implosions of economies in history. You're on the front seat, the front row, you're living it, you're seeing it. We are in this timeline together, and we will witness calamity together. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Junior Small B channel, and I wish you all a good night, a good evening, and be well. Take care, my friends.